What's happening, galactic earthlings? It's 11:22 on the 2-2 on the clock, September 0930. So there's another 093. So we got another 021 02021. Today's date is 021 02021, which is 302. Wait. Yeah, 30203. 30203. So 3,200, 30,203. Or that would be, actually, those would combine and go, I'm not going to try to blow your mind too much, but it'd go 0550, which then would put us in 55 dimension, which then splits, mirrors, and merges. So 55 becomes 1001 or 0110 when you know what you're doing and spinning stuff. So today's date is twin codes leading into October. October's a big deal. Congratulations, everybody in collective. We made it to October, and we're all still conscious, and we're all still on board, co-cheering this planet through this evolutionary event. First time ever in history of the world. October was made. October was made a long time ago. This is the hunt for Red October. This is every single large organization, every single large corporate opening, hotel opening, horse races. There's all type of stuff that go on in October because of the power of October, because October was made in order to culminate powerful collective events. And that's what it still does to this day more than ever, because of all of us made in October that are now activated, especially birthdays October 1 through 13, October 1 through 13, and then October 14th through 26th, but in a different way, okay? But in a different way, but still. So power to my Libras, for real, for reals. We be holding the hinge. Right now, what we're seeing is we've got, well, first of all, Mars at 10 degrees and the Sun at 7. So we've got a 10-7 there, which is just a code for me. It's a birthday code. And as I started this video with number syncs, I'll go look at Neptune over there at 2121, which has been with my crew a big, huge synchronicity nail that we use within the collective, because that equals 33. And then at 33, we always ground to the equator, whatever we're doing, the circumference of the Earth and the universal planet of the planet. So some of the number synchronicities on here that are starting to line up with the planets on these days, whenever I'm pulling them, I'm seeing in the Syrian architecture of the collective, if that makes any sense, the higher, because each number code basically has a nail in it, if you will, like a carpentry nail. And then those sync patterns and codes come to you, wherever you are on this planet, to view that number at a certain sequence of time, so that we can basically kind of like lower the floor, or the walls all, we built the wall on the ground, now we've got to raise it and anchor it to stand up straight. That is what we've been doing for 2.5 years with synchronicities on this planet. It's why you see what people call angel numbers in numerology. It goes way deeper than all of that. So just know, whenever you're looking at these codes and seeing these codes on the clock, ask yourself the deeper meaning, and whatever comes to you is what it is. It's most likely going to blow your mind. Don't discount it. You can go look up the angel number from the pattern, but the number pattern is a reality code and a sync code that's going to mean a lot more to you with the days coming. If you're seeing those sync codes and you're seeing them over and over, or you did in the past 3 years, go back and think of which ones you were seeing and then apply those to your mission. Meaning, whatever sync codes you were seeing over and over, go back and meditate or ask yourself consciously why you were seeing them, because, and when you were seeing them, if you remember, because it will be affiliated to your overall soul's mission that you chose, even if you're not firmly aware of it yet. And just notice when you start seeing those sync patterns again, wherever you see them, because most likely now they're not going to be coming in electronically. They're going to be, well, they might come out on an electronic transaction, like on a receipt or on a shirt or spray painted on the ground. Or now you're seeing it in license plates everywhere, right? So your synchronicity patterns will go from a technical clock, a clock. It'll go from a clock most of the time, right? Because that's where we're seeing them for the most part. But then it'll spill over into your reality. Okay? So start making notes, and what I teach on how to keep up with the timeline changes and quantum leaping in your reality is to start a journal to keep up with those sync codes, and you assign them information so that your guides, angels, ancestors, spirit, whatever you call the etheric, can assist you more by knowing how to conversate with you more about the specific questions that you're asking source. So set up colors. Pink means this. Red means this. This number means this. 555, that's the school we're building. 444, that's this. Make up your codes so that you can get deeper meaning and understanding, and basically set up your own reality game, which is what you really have been doing. Now you're just playing it. We have at 7 degrees on the sun, so at 10 degrees, at 10 something, because it's 10 degrees in some minutes. When we get to 12, it's going to balance out more. So of course by tomorrow, when we get October 1st, Mars is going to be on, like, about to get on the scale as a Ma'at. So if you will, and the scale is facing the center of the astrology, that left scale is got to go, it's going to jump on that left scale at 12 degrees. So it's going to be like, whenever you throw metal or something on a scale, it's going to go, right? And then it has to balance out, right? Because the other side's going to go real high, and then or you've got to weight it, or it's going to walk right on. Well, we're already ready. We know this, the collective isn't going to balance out the scale, right? Now, individually, we're also going on the scale. So this is like your soul's being weighed. Again, Venus already went over. This has already happened once. It's already, the process is already gone. Now it's basically sentencing or freedom. Whichever one you lie on with what you've been doing for the past 7 years specifically. But I mean, this is a soul, like, lifelong Pluto weighing. So Pluto, like the soul of Pluto's soul's being weighed in the collective, which is, and also adjusted, because this was all the soul DNA stories on the planet were what were messed with. Okay, so it's like everything's being rewritten and balanced. But with Mars going there, we're going to start seeing it more and more and more. a balance of things. At least there might be something crazy going on, but at least we see the other side. It's happening with my crew a lot. Now, Mercury went through Spica, went to Izar and stopped at the force field range. Izar is 27 degrees, and Izar is your thoroughbred DNA. It's your femme fatales and your toy soldiers. It's Alpha Draconic and Arcturian, highest degree of human DNA and human bodies down here. Okay? Super soldier program. And it was a reptilian stronghold. Well, not anymore, because there is no more just reptilian on the planet even. Like, we've already surpassed and we've already taken over those DNA strands at the highest. Okay? Meaning the whole circuit is now activating because there's no other way. It's going in everywhere. So we got to the force field of Izar on that 2-degree orb, and then we barely went in. And then we started backing out. And now Mercury is going to go back over Spica Ray. Spica is the strongest flow source. It's source code. Spica is pure source code. Spica was not on this planet until this ascension because it was what was stopped from getting here. It's why your soul was trapped. And it really is... and it was because there was an electronic fence around the earth that it couldn't get through. Okay? But that is what is all coming down around us still. So as Mercury goes back over Spica, at the same time that Mars and the Sun are hitting the scales, sheep balls. I don't know what's going to happen. We've already got all those volcanoes blowing. We're going up, I know that. But then there will be pieces that can't go up that'll then fall. It's like everything will rise in a weird magic spell, and then if it can sustain the lift, it'll stay up. If it can't, boom. Gravity. Venus at 22 degrees has been, I believe, just last night, if you were having any dreams or seeing any shadow type things, or your kundalini's activating, your pupils are dilated, if you have diarrhea, if you have a bladder infection, if you're peeing nonstop, that is all coming out of this overall planetary body, because it really was a body and different ones of us running pieces hooked into different pieces. So you're getting all of your bodily functions basically, and your mind, because now your mind is healed. So now you don't need all those other beings. You've cut all those organizations, you've cut all those groups, you've cut all those intertwinements in your mind, and so then basically you can self-exist on your own. And so and as you pull out, these are things that we're noticing right now happening. Especially, I have a feeling we're going to have a large group of Kundalini activations. Kundalini activations bring in the shadow, and they do bring in your power. However, it is trippy whenever it happens, and don't it just depends on you, and it just depends on your mission, and it depends on what you signed up to see. I want everybody to remember that. Whatever activates in your Kundalini, it's what your soul signed up to witness, to see, to transmute, to learn your gifts and your powers. Because it's going to be black matter. You're clearing through black matter in some way. Because it was dormant, recessive DNA in your body that's now activating so it can help run your body and your reality for you. instead of machine that you were hooked into in order to mass produce it for the planet. This is what we did with Skull and Bones energy from the collective. Like, whenever we say they now, within a week, okay, you can talk about us, the ascended. They is now us. We bring enlightenment to the planet. We bring Kundalini activations for the planet. We are here to assist and activate humans to let them see how quickly, as quick as possible, how your reality is affected by you and your intention and the people you're around and what you're signed up for and what you're doing all day. Whether you think it's making a living for your family or not, it don't matter. It's two different ways of living. It's either you're in a financial control and slavery program or you're not. But we, which is now they, are here to build a new barter program to understand how to get things done without having to sign these deals with the devil who want to vaccinate you and whatever the hell else. Pluto, see, and so that's Venus, and that's Skull and Bones. We're coming out of Skull and Bones, and so we're seeing clearly in the collective their agenda. Because it's time for it to come out now. See, realize that if we wouldn't have been activated and if we wouldn't have been walking this past 3 years and cleaned our ancestral DNA back so far to the extent that none of this could hook in to us. Okay, this is why we've been cleaning and crying and going through hell. If you've been clearing your ancestral karma, it's so this crap wouldn't stick. Well, look around right now, because that is what we would have all been in. There would have been no other way out. It would have been the only way, and we would have all gone into an enslavement program, and I don't even know what. Now, that is what the lower realm is going to form. If one forms, that's what it is. Exactly what they're pitching out here. Now, it's at 22 degrees Scorpio, so we haven't got to 29 yet. 29 degrees of Scorpio is the wizard's bleak at the end of the wand. It's whenever it's all done and we see the whole thing. So we're going to see those lower timelines forming first, number one, because Mars and the Sun are on the other side of the scale, so it's all energetically even still coming in. I know it feels slow, but it's almost like we're only going to have 2 weeks of being worried about a mass government takeover where they're all going to drive us into this crazy shit, or 200 years. Okay, so just keep your mind clear on that. None of this is imprinting. None of it. None of it. None of it. They're doing the best they can in order to not even hear, to block our voices. So we can't even remind you that. Because it's just like you've been sitting in a theater for 3 hours and you just saw a magic trick, but you're still hypnotized by it. Just hold on a second when you'll start smelling the popcorn and then you'll come out of it. Shoot, I didn't see where the true node was. If the true node is on the other side of 3 now, so if it's 0, 1, or 2 for the collective, then that also means that we're coming out of the high aids. So that's the Orion. The true node of the collective was literally cleaning up hell, and that's what we've been doing. Is we've been clearing the O race, especially the O negative race. That's been the last 3 weeks. It's most likely why a lot of you are now getting Kundalini activations, because the Watchers, they be stubborn as shit. For real. But it was their job. It was their job to be watchers over the human race. But realize if you are an O bloodline, just realize this. You're programmed not to step out of line. If you have any O blood, I don't care if it's O neg or not, because O neg is cleaning the karma of the O race. O blood is made to control. It was. So your number one psych out that you'll do to yourself until you get over this and see how powerfully you actually affect everybody, even if you get called out or bullied for a second, because it will happen. It will happen the first time you start stepping out in your truth. Because no matter you're on a raft on a river with a whole bunch of tubes and you're all tied together and you're going down a river and everything's cool when you're floating, but you're all tied together. You know the food is 5 tubes to the right. Y'all know how to steer now, right? And everybody's going down the river. Well, what happens whenever one of the tubes comes undone? And there's a human on it. Oh shit, we got to get it back. Get her, right? Well, yes and no. I don't know. What is she screaming? She could be screaming, hold on, I see a waterfall, I'm in front, we're not going to make it. But the entire O tube line is going to want to strap that tube back on so you can all go together. Well, there's a waterfall and you happen to have maybe an AB on board that can live through it. All right? So it could be that one at the front or you see one at the front that's like, oh shit, I know that's an O blood, but you're at the front of the peak and you see the waterfall coming and you're like, oh crap, they're not going to make it. I can do it. I can let go. I can go over that waterfall and I know I can see it right now. If I can just get over the waterfall, then I can do this and do that and we can get the whole tube line down, right? Or maybe you need 1 or 2 to go with you, but you can convince them, let go, jump, set up the net, we got them, and then we'll tell them how to do it when we can get down here. That is the mind hack for O blood. So if ever you're in front of somebody and truth starts to want to come out, or you feel like you need to speak witness, or there's something going on that they're doing and you're getting bells going off in your head going, oh my God, you're going over to whose house? Who's calling you? What's coming in the mail? Ooh! Because you see the matrix or you see the energy all over them, but then you're too scared to speak up because they are in your raft system and you don't want them to think you're nuts. I promise you they won't think you're nuts. If they do, then then it's just to test you and your faith of your information. And they don't have to agree. They don't. They don't have to agree. They don't have to listen. But you have to say it. Because if you don't, then you don't speak Speaka. Speaka energy, that ray that I just talked about, that comes through your throat. Antares is your throat. Antares is your throat. Antares is your throat. I have saved my ass and many others more times than I can count. I never raised a sword. And this is Kali. You don't raise a sword. You speak truth. You speak consciousness into the matrix and you basically get a balloon lift. I plant them all the times. If I've got to go to a nightclub, I'll speak consciousness to the door guy. I'll speak consciousness to people inside. And then give me 30 minutes and the energy will raise, place will clear out, new people come in, all from just talking about it and not giving a shit. The true node is getting close to blue avian degree. So you might see and feel like a lot of beings stepping into other beings, higher energy frequency, though, not lower. Blue avians kind of, well, it's almost like the technology version of the avian race. So it also just depends on people's body types. I mean, because there really is like a walk-in type of system with meta DNA and blue avians. But that's a whole nother thing. It's a water kite, but it's going to Pluto. If you see the kite, and then we've got Venus over to Neptune, which is Venus is showing the magic. Venus is showing the two sides to everybody. And then the moon is has been pulling this kite the past 2 days through Cancer. And at Sirius C, you can think of that as a Fibonacci sequence on the outside, and then if the moon suddenly flung and then did a circle and landed on the 69 Cancer degree on Sirius B, because it goes A, C, B. So it's like we're also making this big wave inside the body, because Cancer is your body fluids. It's your blood. It's just saline in your body. It's sweat. It's water. It's heart plasma. It's everything inside the collective body that makes up your body and all of our bodies here on Earth. It all works together. So the moon has been showing us shadows of all of that, especially from a body and emotional perspective. And then it boomerangs straight over to Pluto. So again, realigning. All in this right here, it's 11:47 I'm seeing right now, so 11:11, 22. Whenever you're seeing 11:11, start breaking those codes down to twos. If you naturally see things in ones, and if you've been somebody blowing up codes like me to reset them, be careful. Now's the time to change to 2, 4, 6, 8. Just whenever your eyes see 11s, say 2. So consciousness, when I see 11s, say 2. Because you're tuning up to a different infrastructure. You don't have to blow it up anymore. We're building it now. And that's all I'll say about that. Saturn's going direct October 10th. And I'll be back in a couple of days. So, all is well. I want to say all is well in China and Vietnam. Over and out.